Yes, yeah, she's also Nikki.
So I'm Nicole and she's Nikki. So that
So I might
Nicole is fine. I love
So next week,
and you must get us
I think there might be some guests, but
some big party there's dancing, singing, etc. Everyone's preparing for that as well.
good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year to the second meeting of the week. Yeah, when I say Happy New Year, that is the Lunar New Year, which was just the Sunday, the past Sunday, and this is the year of
The black rabbit.
like rabbit. What does that mean?
Love.
Luck, prosperity, change, peace, and in the Chinese tradition, it actually symbolized longevity, peace, and prosperity. And I checked the prediction for the coming year. It's going to be a year of hope. So I hope that this will symbolize a change, a new year, new changes, and also a year with lots of hopeful messages, which hopefully we can also get from our meeting as well. So as a start for next meeting, I just want to go through a bit of the business order. For next meeting, we are gonna have the club contest for the Toastmaster speech contest. So we will have a special meeting next time on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, but also it's going to be a contest day. We now have contestants who are joining international speech contests, table topic contests, and also evaluation speech contests. So I'm really excited and happy that this year actually our club will send representatives for hopefully like all three categories, which is actually a big change from last year. I think last year we only got 2 contestants, one in international speech and one in table topic. And just want to share with you, this is, yes?
Do you send an email out with the information who is doing what from our club, who are the representatives?
Can
To the members, I mean, to the members.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, it's not really a contest. You cannot have a contest if you only have 1 or 2 contestants. But our club somehow feels responsible for letting each and every member know what a contest entails. So what we're going to be doing is running through, if it were a contest, this is what I call in my vernacular a mock contest. But we in the meantime are now calling it a club contest training, what it would be like if you were in a contest. And it would be just like in a meeting in Easy Speak where you get an invitation, although you might get information prior to.
Okay, so the names?
Yes.
And I have another point of order is that we made it in such a way that it's important for you to come because every single one of you will be a judge. Okay? So you will have the opportunity to know what it is, except the contestants, of course. But every one of you will know what it is to be a judge, what it entails, and have the possibility then to be a judge maybe in another contest at the area level, at the division level, and you don't need to have I don't know how many paths to do it, but you have to know how to do it. And this is a good opportunity to learn how to be a judge in a contest, which is a bit different from being an evaluator in an organization.
Yes, and of course, thanks to the organizing committee of the contest, which composed of Nicole, Maria Teresa, and Ines, to organize the mock contest, like for us all. Personally, I just find it really interesting to speak when you need to compete, because with the mindset, it's just a different, mindset, and there is that adrenaline. And the preparation, of course, a lot more preparation will need to go into the process. So I hope that by having this mock contest, more of us would come forward next year, so that next year we would have a real contest. So it's step by step, and that's the year of hope and change. And with that, I don't have too much of the business order for today, but just one tiny point that Maria Teresa wants to add.
Thank you, Madam President. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. How many of you look at Easy Speak? Be honest. How many? How many? What's your regularity? Once a day, once a week, once a month, once a year? I have been noticing messages in Easy Speak saying, change your password. It's only valid for 200 days. You know, I put it off, procrastinating, and then I realized maybe at one point I'll change the password and I'll be stuck. So I'm going to wholeheartedly recommend that you, if you have not up to now, change your password. All you have to do is click on the link that says change your password, but I give you some advice. It should consist of uppercase, lowercase, and figures. So it has to be a sort of semi-complicated password. In other words, do it now, before you get shut out. And then you can't sign up for roles. Madam President.
Thank you so much, Maria Teresa, for the kind reminder. So without further ado, yes, we have a special guest because she looks so familiar to me, so that I forgot that she's actually a guest. So yeah, we'd like to also introduce our guest of this meeting, Monica, who is actually, you were a member of with us for how long?
More than 2 years, I think.
More than 2 years,
I
yes.
remember. It's just before pandemic. It was just pandemic disrupted everything, so I couldn't follow the online meetings, and eventually, so I stopped. But now I'm back.
Yes, welcome. Very happy to have you again, and yes, the in-person meeting, that has a different touch. So I'm really happy that we get to meet in person again as well. So yeah, and with that.
And Nikki.
Yes, but Nikki is.
No, she's not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, but maybe also I take her as a member already, so I forgot to mention that. But Nikki, would you also want to say something?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I believe I've been here maybe 3 or 4 times now, and as of yesterday, I submitted my application to join the club.
We actually have a lot of new members and also maybe old members coming back as well. So yes, with that, then I'll pass the floor to Toastmaster of the day, Nicole. Yes. Thank you so much, Nicole.
We can shake hands again. So, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests and future members, it is my honor and privilege today to lead you through this session, which has all the parts that we usually have in a normal session. That is that we have a prepared speech today, then we're going to have a table topic session, and then we're going to have our usual evaluation part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you first who the person is who's going to give the prepared speech. So Veron here is going to give the prepared speech. Arosh is going to be leading. What did I do wrong?
No, that's just
General evaluator.
Yeah?
You should introduce the general evaluator.
Yeah.
So don't worry. Yeah. Just a normal cough, basically.
Yeah.
Arosh is going to lead the table topic session. And the general evaluator is going to be Ria. And this gives me the opportunity to ask Ria to come here to introduce her team.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, I have the privilege today to introduce my charming team for the evaluation. Evaluation is a part of Toastmasters and very important. So we would have as a grammarian Ben. Ben, would you be so kind to inform us about the class?
Yes, hi everyone, fellow Toastmasters and guest. It's my first time today as a grammarian, even though I'm not a native speaker, so I'll try my best. And I chose for the word of the day, constellation, which refers to either the configuration of stars, especially at one's birth, or an assemblage, collection or group of usually related persons, qualities, or things. And with this, I wish you all the best in using this beautiful language that is English.
Constellation.
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 Configuration.
Constellation.
Constellation. Different planet.
Okay, then, many thanks, Ben. We go further to the timekeeper, which will be Sila today.
Monica.
You will be you. Okay, then. Monica, would you be so kind to
Dear fellow Toastmasters, dear guests. So this is I will be timing, and I will be timing the prepared speech, the table topics, and evaluation. For the prepared speech, you will have 5 to 6 minutes, and at 5 minutes I will show you the green card. At 6 minutes the yellow card, and at 7 minutes the red card. And for the table topics, you will have 2 minutes. And for the evaluation, which I think is Sheila, the evaluation. Who is doing the evaluation?
Ines.
Ines, you have 2-3 minutes.
Many thanks, Monica. And we would also have an 8 counter, which is Maria Teresa today.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I don't call it an A counter, I call it an A counter, but I've heard it been called a ha counter and all kinds of other things. Basically, my role today is to stop us, to note the unpleasantries we make in the course of our speech, the ums and ahs, the fillers, maybe for Americans like or you know. We had somebody here in one of our recent meetings that was using the word like a lot. Anything that detracts from the message of your speech. That's my role. With that, I return control to you. Although I think we forgot to mention how long the table topics are.
2 minutes.
She mentioned
2 minutes.
Okay, and then it was the evaluator. How long does the evaluator
Yeah,
speak?
2 to 3 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes.
She can, yes? Okay. Then as a last, no, not last one, but we would also have the ballot counter, which is also my role for today, and we would have the evaluation of the speech, and this is Ines. Ines, would you be so kind to?
She'll do that afterwards, after I introduce this. That's right.
Okay. Good. Then with this, I return control to the Toastmaster of the day, Nicole.
Today we have only one prepared speech, but that gives me the opportunity to remind you that in pathways there are 11 paths. You can choose one. A lot of us choose presentation mastery to start with because what a lot of us want to do is to become better speakers, and that's a good opportunity to do it. But you have other paths like dynamic leadership. If you're already a leader or want to become a leader, you have innovative learning, you have team collaboration, which I think is an interesting one too. But our speaker today, Weiron, chose the last path, the 11th path, and that path is visionary communication. What is visionary communication? I checked it out in Pathways. It's to build innovative communication and leadership skills. That's what it is all about. So, today, before I give the floor to Weiron, I'm going to give the floor to her evaluator so that we know what the objectives are, and if you're going to have to, if you're going to, not have to write little comments, then you can know what the objectives are and base your comments maybe on the objectives.
Toastmasters, what against Toastmaster Weiron? What a constellation. Amazing. The purpose of your project today is to learn and review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic, clearly focused. And with that, I hand over control of the meeting back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you.
Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests for today. I would like to ask you a question. It is, how old are you? Ugh, you are too old. Ugh, you're too young. Now, how does that feel? Today, I would like to discuss a topic that touches every one of us, whether we realize it or not. Ageism. What is ageism? It is a form of discrimination that assigns value and worth to a person based solely on their age. Whether we're young or old, our age can often be a source of prejudice and misunderstanding. We're all familiar with age-based stereotypes. Whether it's that older people are simply out of touch, or that young people lack wisdom and experience. But ageism isn't only about negative stereotypes. It's about being limited by what has happened in the past. Society often tells us that age brings limits, things that we can't achieve because of how old we are. Things that we can't do because we are too young. We're told that our dreams and aspirations are no longer attainable. But ageism isn't just an issue for older people, as you may know. It also affects younger generations. Most of us have probably heard of the phrase, "Youth is wasted on the young." A phrase that implies that youth is a frivolous and unwise time of life. Young people, I would say, have the energy and the optimism to take on challenges and create something new. The problem is that ageist attitudes limit our potential. They prevent us from pursuing our dreams and following our intuition. We can get so caught up in what we should do and what we shouldn't do based on listening to the society's standards. We forget to trust our own judgment and pursue our own paths. I'd like to share two stories with you today. The first one being, 2 years ago, I met a man via Zoom. Now, this would sound a bit strange and creepy pre-pandemic, but yes, this was during the pandemic. He was a prominent figure in the intercultural training sector and 80 years of age. But that did not stop him from me sensing his enthusiasm and curiosity from my computer screen. At the end of our first Zoom call, he said, "Wei Rong, I would like to collaborate with you." I did not expect that, and I did not know what that meant. Fast forward to 1 year later, we collaborated on many projects together, from presentations on intercultural and intergenerational importance and value, to lecturing and co-lecturing together at universities. Now, this would have never happened if he weren't so open and determined that age does not matter and is more of an asset rather than what sets us back. My second story involves a young woman who had just landed her first job. Her boss was more than twice her age. She completed all her tasks and jobs on time and often over-delivered. But her boss was always quick to point out her youth and her inexperience. Her boss made comments about her age and used it as a weapon to discredit her. At first, she was very discouraged and confused because she felt like her boss was holding her back. But she slowly came to understand there's different cultures and different environmental cues that one simply has to understand. But most importantly, she realized that her age was more of an advantage than what held her back. She was young, she was energetic, and unencumbered by the expectations of society. She was free to make her own choices and take risks. This lady, this she, is called Wei Rong. With these two stories, I wanted to point out that your age is something you should be extremely proud of. It is a journey and path that you are on, and that you should indefinitely love and cherish. It is up to you to take control of your narrative and not allow societal voices to be in the way of your own intuition and dreams. Let us come together and create a world where age is not a number, age is not a barrier. Instead, it's a bridge to success and fulfillment, together creating intergenerational success. Together, working together as a beautiful constellation. Thank you very much.
Well, so 1 minute is over. Before we start rather with the table topic session, I would like to tell you about something. You've just written a comment, an evaluation for the speaker, and we're going to have an oral evaluation too. But I don't know whether you know that in Toastmasters there's a new application which is called Udly, not Udl, but Udly. I will write it down on the board, which gives you the opportunity to do your self-evaluation. That is that if you are going to give a speech, for instance, and even more if you're going to participate in a contest, you can record yourself on your computer, and then Udly will tell you whether you were too long or too short, for instance, whether you had too many repetitions, whether you had too many or filler words. It will give you a number of information about how you did, not everything that a person, because we're still useful there, a person will tell you, but I think it's a very good tool if you want to rehearse a speech, and particularly if you're going to give a speech in a contest. It helps a lot. I'll write it down. That's what I have to say about this new invention in Toastmasters International. But now we're going to have our table topic session, and I'm going to ask her to come here to tell us what she has to ask.
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Today my task is to present you with some table topics, and the aim of table topics will be to, table topics are one of the most dreaded and challenging parts of our session. But it can also be a tool for improvising the skills that we have and to give impromptu speeches. And it is one of the most potent tools that can help us in sharpening our arsenal of communication. And the basic aim will be to deliver focused and goal-oriented speeches, where I will present you with some topics, and some of you will be asked to answer them. And I will present you with a constellation of ideas, and to ignite your imagination. So I have prepared a few questions. I will like to maximize target audience and engagement, and I would like to include everyone, calling upon some of the guests, and if you're up for it, we can proceed from there. So first of all, my first question will be that it is said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it is also said that memories which are captured can be priceless. So would you rather be a talking picture or a still picture? And this question would go to Sila.
Thank you so much, Ruth.
Would you rather be a talking picture or a still picture? What is the difference between a talking picture and a still picture? It's the voice. It's the movement. And that is the major difference between the two. But how do you capture the attention of the people? Do you just capture their attention by standing still? Or do you capture their attention by moving and talking and communicating? I think we have a lot of those instances when you have an online meeting where then things don't move. It got frozen. Do you remember that? Or do you remember a really good speakers who give you powerful images, ideas, so that you remember and have something to take away from you that you can use in your daily life? And if I really want to be a still picture, I'm not sure if my configuration is enough for you to remember. So if I have a choice, typical topic master, I would rather be a talking picture. And this is exactly why we come to Toastmasters, to learn how to talk better, to learn how to articulate ideas among a constellation of ideas, how to stand out, how to articulate so that people remember what we want to say instead of how we look. I would rather people remember what I say and do. And so if I have a choice, definitely a talking picture. I think it's an amazing answer, and to my mind, the first thing that comes is, I would imagine just Charlie Chaplin walking around and just moving and dancing and talking, and I would like to be a talking picture as well. So my second question would be that we as kids we don't limit our imaginations. We are sometimes daydreaming, and we build up scenarios in our heads which may or may not be true. But what was the biggest lie that you once believed to be true? And would you like it still to be true or not? And this question would go to Lily.
Madam Table Topics, fellow Toastmasters, honoured guest. I don't remember the exact wording of your question. What came into my mind as you were talking was, when I was a little girl, I used to go to school. I had to walk across the creek. It was about 1.5 miles away. And my mother was often concerned for me when I came home a little bit late. And one time, when on my way home, instead of walking straight along the path that took me home, I went further along the creek. And there were big rocks, and there was tall grass and lots of plants, and it was such an exciting environment and atmosphere, and there were rose hips. And I started collecting the rose hips and beading them together, and I made a chain. And I thought I would make this piece of jewellery for my mother. I came home 1 hour late. My mother was not happy. She was furious. She did not appreciate this piece of jewellery I had made for her. And a short time later we had visitors, and I took the daughter of our friends for a walk and showed her this area around the creek. And I saw it from her point of view, and the grass was so tall, it was endless, it was like a desert. She did not believe there was anything at the other end, that we would be walking forever and get lost. What do I wish? Well, sometimes I think back to my childhood in Australia, that creek, that warmth, that sunshine, walking across the creek, being outside. That's what I wish sometimes that I could still have, that I could still experience. And I appreciate the present time and recognise how important it is to be mindful of where I am and what I'm doing and what I have. So my greatest appreciation is that I had that experience, that I can remember it, and that picture is captured forever in my own mind. Madam President.
That was a really interesting and imaginative experience that you shared with us. And I think all of us, we like to daydream as kids. And if we continue it in our adulthood or youth as well, I think it can be very positive. It will allow us to achieve our aims. So moving on to the next question. We as humans are amalgams of our weaknesses and strengths. But if you were given the option that you could live without your biggest weakness at the cost of your biggest strength, would you be able to survive? And I would like to give this question to perhaps Nikki, if...
Oh, that's a hard question. Okay.
Well, thank you for the question topics, Master. I'm sitting here going, oh God, please don't follow me. Because it's hard to have that self-reflection and consider what is my greatest strength, what is my biggest weakness. For me, I would say I am an extremely creative person, and I really enjoy brainstorming, coming up with ideas, trying to solve problems, and that really feeds into what I do in my work as a training officer, but it also feeds into my home and trying to make sure that things are smooth for my husband and my son. And as far as weaknesses, I would say I can be a little scatterbrained because I do have that creative streak. I can get distracted, I can kind of go off into the weeds, and I have to go, okay, snap to, get back to the point, and it presents itself at home when I, have to do a task here, and then I just have to run to the other side of the apartment for something, and then I come back here, and then I just have to run over here. So, the creative and the distracted kind of balance each other out, and I generally can present myself as being well-rounded. And it's worked really well for me in my life, but I have to keep both of those things in balance in order for things to work. So if I had to give up,
If you could give up your biggest weakness at the cost of your biggest strength, would you be able to survive in a world like that?
I don't think I could. I don't think I could survive because, as I said, they balance each other out. And so, without the creativeness, the distraction is associated with it. They're it's like a yin and yang. They work with one another. So, thank you for the opportunity to reflect on what those are and to share that with the club. But I don't think I could. I'd have to take both the strength and the weakness together.
I think that's a great answer, what you've given. And all of us are like that, more or less. We would like to amplify our strengths and minimize our weaknesses, but somehow we are, like I said, an amalgam of our weaknesses and strengths, and we would not be us without these strengths and weaknesses that we have. So now I would like to move on to questions which are on a much lighter note. and sorry for those who had to bear with me. But my next question would be that it is sometimes said that dogs resemble their owners, and in terms of traits, physical appearance can also be a thing, but let's not go there. But I don't know if it's applicable to non-living things, but I would like to apply it, and somehow I would like to ask that if you could be any car, what would you like to be and why? And this would go
Anywhere?
any car.
Car?
A car, yes.
Driving car.
Ah, okay. And this question would go to Monica.
Thank you for this opportunity. That's a surprise. Okay. Dear fellow Toastmasters, this is a very easy question for me. I wouldn't be a car, I will be a bicycle. And I'm going to tell you why. So, I don't own a car, I cannot drive, although I regret this part. But I'm an enthusiastic advocate of using the bike and stop using so much the cars for several reasons. For environmental reasons, for health reasons. And I am part of another club, which is the Blue Bike, in which also Ben is a member. And so this was a very easy answer. Why do I believe we should reduce using cars? We see how our planet is deteriorating. We see how we are getting out of touch with nature. And I think using cars in a more reasonable way or in a more thoughtful way is the way forward to go in the future. So I hope I answered your question.
It's very nice that you're taking care of the environment, and more of us should be like that. So the next question would be that our lives are filled with risks and rewards, and they all come in balance. But what would you like to take? Would you like to take foolish risks or calculated risks? And this question would go to probably Maria Teresa.
Oh, I know the answer.
Could you repeat the question?
Would you like to take foolish risks or calculated risks? Foolish. Being a fool or...
Well, Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and I guess somebody who knows me a lot is Ria. Risk. What does that mean? That means maybe doing something that you're kind of not used to doing. Going outside of your comfort zone. Jumping into something. Deciding to join Toastmasters. A risk? Am I going to walk across the crosswalk if it's red? No, Maria Teresa is not dumb enough to do that. But if I see that I can jaywalk and somehow get across, if it's just not quite so, I might try. I personally think in life one should take risks. Because if you're complacent and you take everything for granted, oh, well, let's just stay with the status quo, let's do everything the way we've done it up to now. Guess what? I think it's boring. I don't think you get fulfillment doing things like that. I think sometimes taking a risk might entail having a failure, but can I be honest? I have learned much more from my failures than from my successes. Much, much more. So at any point in my life, it wouldn't be foolish, it wouldn't be calculated, it might be somewhere in between. But definitely, I'm not afraid of going there and taking that risk.
So my next question would be that if you had to choose between
between living your entire life without taking a shower or without changing your clothes, what would you choose? And this would go to Ben.
That is the second
If you could choose between living your entire life without taking a shower or without changing your clothes, what would you choose?
So you may know that French people, we do suffer from this stereotype that we do smell bad. I'm a French person, and yes, sometimes I don't take showers for a few days, but there's a good reason for it. Usually it's because I'm up there in the mountains, in a shelter, and there is no shower. So yeah, I'm down to 1 shower per 3 days. So I think I would choose not taking a shower and washing my clothes and do a French shower, just putting some perfume and put a clean shirt on me, and that would work. I know we have another French person here. Maybe you've experienced the same stereotype, but a lot of people came to me and told me, like, oh, you're French, so you smell bad. Hopefully today I'm clean, I had a shower and I have a new shirt.
Out of it, and if no one is showering, then at least we got some very nice perfumes and scents. It's the rest of words taken. So this concludes my session, my questions, and I think we had a very engaging and interactive session. I will return the control to Thomas today.
Well, you know, the reason why the French and other people, when we didn't take showers, is that 50 or 60 years ago we didn't have showers. It's as simple as that. And in the world, yes, my dear. And in the world today, there are still a few places where people don't have showers. But that doesn't mean they don't wash. Because you can wash without a shower, and when you're in the mountains, and you don't even have perfume, but it's a natural smell. Anyway, as I said, that's the way, that might be one of the reasons why the French have got so nice perfumes. To hide the smell. Anyway, I'm going to recap what the questions were. The first question that went to Silla was, would you like to be a talking picture or would you rather be a still picture? The second question went to Lily. The biggest lie you believe to be true and you would still like to be true. The third question, which was the most difficult for me all to write down, it was about weaknesses and strengths. I'm going to summarize it that way. And it was Nikki who had to answer that question. The fourth one, if you could be a car, which kind of car would you be? Monica. Maria Teresa, would you like to take foolish risk or calculated risks? And the last one, which went to Benjamin, would you rather live without a shower or without changing your clothes? And we have a cup, I guess, somewhere with the ballots. And one I'm going to write down this word you will. Now it's time for our last session, and that's a very important one about the constellations of thoughts that we've had and the constellation of questions that we've had. I'm going to ask Lydia to come back and ask her team to give their evaluations. Thank you so much.
everyone, yeah. And I think with this we will start now the evaluation, which I would like to please kindly ask Ines to start with the evaluation of the speech of the rock. You are too young. Thank you.
Toastmaster Veron. Wow. This was a very interesting speech. The content, the topic, is something which we really feel also what we see this happening in society. Your speech was very well compiled. You did your homework, what I see. And it was clear for me. It was interested. It had a purpose, very clear. And I see that you have really thought about it, because it got in your emotions, it got into your cells, especially with the second story. What I see is the body language you had when you started in the beginning. And although I said your speech was very well compiled, with the three very well structured, in the beginning you read a lot. And you could easily come up with something very controversial. And this constellation which you had in mind could be much more punchy. You tried it, but next time. There is another way to do it, and I'm sure you're creative enough, you will be doing it. Your body language told me a lot. Try not to read too much. Although so many things go through your mind, especially in this particular presentation of yours, I see that you can really develop your own style. You can bring more your emotions, because it's an emotional issue. And there is, in the evaluation form, I made some notes, where they said, do you have your own style? Develop your own style. You can do it. It's very much cleanly written, cleanly presented. Also the two stories you gave, which were two very different stories, but it got to you. Tell us that. Tell the audience that. Let the audience think about the issue of something is not right in society. I'm not going into details for that. When I look at what you asked me to look at, the pace, the gestures, the tone, the eye contact, you tried. It could be better. Your facial expressions could be also much better, because that is where emotional issues are coming in. I have written all my evaluation notes here, which I'm handing over to you. I would like to congratulate you on your second speech, second I think, yes, and well done.
So I would like really to highlight that this is a great constellation of my evaluation team today. And with this I hand over to to report to us about the language that was used, and to report to us about the word of the day.
So one for you for the word of the day, and overall good use of the word of the day just came in my mind this morning when I was cycling to the UN, and I'm happy that it fit in a lot of our speeches today, especially the one from Veron. I loved your conclusion and this word at the end. It was overall really good speech. An overall very good usage of the English language. I just picked up on some interesting words to me and also constructions. The first one was from Maria Teresa, unpleasantries. And also later on something that sounds very funny to me, walk across the crosswalk. Good. And then we have two sentences that were used related to the army vocabulary space, or I don't know how you call that. Anyway, whereon you said used as a weapon to decredibilize her, and Aruj, you used sharpening our arsenal of communication. And you should go for the speech after that. And yeah, just Aruj, you said when you started your table topic session, you said to present you with some table topics, and I think something simpler would work, like to ask you some table topics question. And with this, I return control.
Do you have a grammarian's crown?
Yes, to Aruj.
Thank you very much then. So, with this, we would like to know from our timekeeper, who is Monica today, how the time was. So the time was very good with the prepared speech. Weiron was under 7 minutes. She was 6 minutes and 09 seconds. Anuk was okay also in her presentation. Chila was 1 minute 41. Lily was over the 2 minutes, 2.30. Nikki, it was just 1 minute 59. Me, I don't know.
1 minute 70.
Okay. Maria Teresa was 1 minute 27 seconds. Ben was very, very short, 48 seconds. And Ines was just a little bit over the time, 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Very good. Many thanks, Monica. Maria Teresa, tell us about the art counter and tell us about how many times we did mistakes, how much we need to pay.
The Toastmasters, I'm the guest. This bank is going to go very poor today because it was really good. Although I think, Ben, you were the champion.
Yes.
You were the champion because before you even started your table topic, you hesitated with a okay? And you spoke a lot. And I counted at the end of the day 5, which is not so bad. Ria, I counted 1. Nicole, I noticed you said so many, and another time so. So for me that kind of counted like an just like Scylla also at one point said so. It reminded me of an so I noted it. Aruj, you also had a tendency to go for the so. I mean, maybe it's not really an but I interpret it as such. Nikki, I noted 1 Monica, I noted 2 A's. I didn't count myself, but that basically concludes my report. Otherwise, this has been such a fun meeting, such an incredible meeting. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Maybe I wasn't listening carefully enough.
Thank you very much. Okay, and after the A count is the ballot counter, which is me, and I just did it. And do I have to announce the winner now, or?
Yeah.
You could be the Toastmaster of the day. Could be the, or the president.
Okay, then I'm going to leave this to the Toastmaster of the day. Then what leaves for me is to evaluate this meeting. I think we had a very funny meeting, a very happy meeting. I would like to mention 2 things which I realized. There are 2 things on my heart. One is congrats Aruj. Yeah. You see how development is doing. Amazing table topic things that you are asking. So you see how much is inside of you. Yeah. Keep on that. And the second thing is that this is something I really would like to mention now. Is thank you, Nicole. Yeah, not Nikki, Nicole. No, I would like to highlight that everything you do so with so much elegance. Yeah? I like this so much. It's a pleasure always to seeing you. So you are an amazing Toastmaster of the day. Oh, thank you. And with this, I hand over to you.
So, Belgium, I'll start with the guests. The other day, I was having a conversation with, it was, I think, Austrian people, and I couldn't find the word I was looking for, which was, I was talking about people who were a bit, and I went, it's so French. I don't know, are we the only ones to do that?
The nose in the air. Your nose in the air.
Yeah, but I you know what, I can't even remember the word in German, to be honest with you.
Hochnäsig kann man sagen.
Nein, eingebildet.
You can say hochnäsig. You even say high-nosed. Yeah.
Think they know better.
Arrogant,
And they
yeah.
go to the best
Also
restaurants.
arrogant, ja.
Anyway, although we don't shower every day. You said I lost myself now. Yeah, I wanted to change path and to tell you at the end of this meeting to really come next time for our contest training, because I think you will all profit from it. The ones who are going to be contesting, because it will be for you a very good opportunity to rehearse and to have evaluations, meaningful evaluations from other members, so that you can then work on your presentation, be it evaluation, table topics or speech. Because I have to tell you, the ones who are going to be, can I say who's going to be a contestant? It's still a secret. Anyway, whoever is going to be a contestant in the table topic contest, as well as in the evaluation contest, it is a speech with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. That's the challenge. So maybe it's better when you're young, you know. Older. No. Although we tend to have a lot of conclusions when we get older. That was just.
Can I just add on something? You know, it's easy to remember Valentine's Day, the 14th of February. Why don't you make an effort to come to our club mock contest? Because maybe some people didn't sign up to be in the competition because they were afraid, you know? There was that fear element, don't know it well enough and blah, blah. But we're going to have a fun session. I strongly encourage everybody, you don't have to actively participate, with the exception of writing evaluations. And that is participation. Other than that, it's basically pain-free. 14th of February, 12:15 in this room.
Except for the contestants, yes, it's going to be painful. For the contestants, not so sure. Now, my role is to give the best little topic round And Madam President, it's a good opportunity to give back to you.
Thanks so much. And thank you so much for that closing as well. I think it's interesting how we all grow by taking up different roles. I think today, not just the Rouge, it's also the first time for Benjamin to be the grammarian, first time for Ria to be the general evaluator. And we only learn by stepping out of our comfort zone to do something different, right? And that's the whole point for the contest for next meeting, I guess. Before we close the meeting, just maybe a bit of the comment from two guests who actually took up the challenge to answer those very challenging table topic questions. I don't know how you got the idea to ask those questions, but really challenging. So I wish thanks for that. But Monica or Nico? No, Nikki. Not Nico. Yes, Nikki.
What's the question?
Questions from us. Just a bit of comment. Like,
Oh, yes, excuse me.
Technically, I still cannot call you as a member. I don't know where we got got stuck, but we'll resolve it ASAP.
Well, I'm very happy that I was able to make today's meeting. The questions were so much fun, and I thought that the presentation, the speech today was such a relatable topic for all of us. So yeah, very happy, lots of laughs, a great way to spend the afternoon with everyone.
So I think it was fun to come back, and so a lesson I should have learned in Toastmasters: you are never safe. Even I thought I'm a guest, I'm climbing here. Sometimes people call me, yeah, I should know better. But I think it's great fun, and that's what I miss from Toastmasters. It's not only that you learn something, you improve your skills, is that you have fun. And then we all come back to our offices, and so we go back with a different feeling and different energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And with that, I think I can adjourn the meeting for today, and I will see you in 3 weeks actually. The 13th of February is like in 3 weeks time, so yes.
Do we get some more information about anything? What will happen?
What do you need to know? What do you need to know?
So is it a normal meeting? Do I come here normally, or do I have?
It is an in-person meeting.
It is an in-person meeting. Okay, and is there a separate rooms for the people because on room? So
That
No, we
like
organize. It will be organized.
It will be organized?
Yeah, it will be organized.
Okay, so it's the same persons, the table topics, for instance, are the same, like everybody hears everything what the others say? No.
No.
That's what I mean, yeah. No.
But I think what maybe we can do is like to have the agenda, you know, like a tentative agenda, you know, fix
There already is a tentative
Yeah,
agenda.
ASAP, like to be, so that like at least like we are all on the same page. And definitely I would also try to promote the event a little bit, because I think it's important not just for the members to join, to learn how to be a judge, to know what it is to be a contest, but also for more people to know what Toastmaster is all about. And so definitely we'll try to reach out, you know, to promote and to invite more guests. And in case you have any colleagues, you know, who might be interested in finding out what is Toastmaster, what it is to join a contest, you know, please bring them along as well. So I think that would also be an interesting event for us all. So yeah, that's good. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much. Yeah.